Yo, what's good, man? Welcome to another episode of Black Man's Thoughts. And better lost for words, man. Got a lost for words. Woke up, still pissed. You know, had to take my daughter, pick her up from the damn what's it called, the dentist. You know, her braces. She got purple. Coincidentally, what I'm wearing. Got dark purple too. Look similar to what I'm wearing. It's crazy. Couldn't even look her in the eye. After that that debacle, that so-called game we played yesterday. After all these months, man, leading up to this damn moment, Monday Night Football, fucking Las Vegas Raiders, new stadium, draft picks. You know what I'm saying? Hollywood's about to be Sammy Watkins. We got all this new offensive firepower. You know what I'm saying? Villanueva or Villan, whatever his freaking right name, the right tackle's name is. He come over. Oh man, you solidified the tackle position out there. Orlando Brown. Let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. Hold on. I can't smoke my cigar on live television. Son, all right, man. Lamar Jackson finished the game with 235 yards, 1 TD. He had 12 rushes, 86 yards, 2 costly fumbles. We'll talk about that later. Tyson Williams, 12 carries, 86 yards, 7.2 yards per carry. Dude was doing his damn thizzle. He was doing his damn thizzle. Latavius Murray, 10 carries, 28 yards. 10 carries. He just came on the team. You got one back that's, got 12 carries, 86 yards. You stop feeding him the rock to give Latavius Murray 10 carries. He gets 28 yards. So not only have you not getting yards the first 5-6 carries, you give it to him 4 or 5 more times. He averages 2.8 yards per carry. Tyson Williams averaged 7.2 yards per carry. Catching passes, first time in the game doing his thing. You took him out the game to put in Latavius Murray, who averages 2.8 yards per carry. Come on, man. This don't make any sense. Don't make any sense. This man averaging 7.2 yards per carry. He almost got 100 yards. Not far from it. 12 carries, 86 yards. He wasn't far from it. Averaging 7.2, and you stop feeding him the rock to give Latavius Murray, who had 10 carries, 86 yards, 28 yards, and averaged 2.8 yards per carry. That's Greg Roman. That's Greg Roman, but I'll digress. We'll move on. Sammy Watkins, he had 4 catches, 96 yards. He was targeted 8 times. Wow. Hollywood, I thought he had a tremendous game. He had 6 catches, 69 yards, 1 TD. He was targeted 6 times. Andrews, I'm going to talk about him for a minute. Now, Andrews signed a big contract. Las Vegas Raiders have Darren Waller, one of the top tight ends in the game. So we get to see a showdown between 2 young, up-and-coming tight ends. One just signed a big contract, solidify himself, and said, hey, this contract shows that I am looked at as one of the top-tier tight ends in the league. What did Andrews get? 3 catches, 20 yards on 4 targets. Another game when Andrews completely disappears. Completely disappears. Now we have to look at this and say, is this a scheme problem, a Lamar trust problem, or a choke problem? Now, if it can't be Lamar Jackson don't trust him, he's the most trusted. Lamar trusts him more than any other pass catcher on the team. That's out of the window. That's a fact. That's a fact. He trusts him way more than any other pass catcher. Now, we have to look at this. Is this a scheme problem? You mean to tell me that this man just signed his contract? He's looked at as one of the top tier tight ends in the game. And now this isn't happened just once or twice. This is starting to become a reoccurring thing that in tight games, when we need him most, Mark Andrews is disappearing. Is it because they can't scheme him open? Is it because they can't scheme him open? We saw one tight end for Las Vegas. He he made plays happen. He made plays happen. Didn't happen every play, but he made himself available. What I mean is he beat coverages. He got himself open. He found the soft spots. Where's Andrews finding the soft spots? Where's the scheming to get him open? Andrews, if he's at the top 10, he's getting paid. He has to then say, we can't just always say he's just getting double teamed. He's getting soft and, high look and low look and all this other stuff. No, he has to be able to find himself open. He has to be able to get himself open. If that's what great players do. That's what great players do. Waller got himself open. And I blame that all on Andrews. I blame that all on Andrews. You can, they can scheme you open. They can get you open. Have Lamar, say, hey, this is the number one target. But Andrews has to get himself open. Andrews have to make himself available to make plays, and he's not doing that. This is becoming a big problem. Let's go Duvernay. I talked about him all offseason. That's the one guy that I really wanted to take off. That's the one guy that I said, hey, if we can get this guy going, he's a running back at a receiver position, thick built, super fast. Get him the ball, get him some screens, let him go. Well, they gave him a screen, and he looked unexplosive. He looked like the scene is too big for him. It looked like it's one game. I know I got to calm down. It's one game, but the chances he got, I don't think he took advantage of it. He looked explosive on special teams, but then he fumbled. So I was completely disappointed on him. I see a lot of people say, hey, I know they took a shot with him on a line down the sideline. I think the left hand side once. That didn't work out, but I'm not seeing too much out of him out of the receiver position, and it just looking like, hey, he needs to either do something, or I don't want to say look elsewhere, because I'm like, hey, Andrews is not showing up in big fucking games either. So how can I expect Duvernay, who has played a lot less, who has a lot less experience, to all of a sudden be like, hey, hold him to such high standards? But when you have hope in players like Andrews and Duvernay to take that next leap, these are the games that are considered that next leap. When the games are on the line, where it's in overtime, that's that next leap. This is when your moment is. That's your moment. Not when we're up 45 to fucking 3 and they're tired and all of a sudden you start balling. No, these moments when it's overtime. You know what I mean? First game of the season. You haven't had a lot of practice with X, Y, and Z, and you make yourself open in clutch performances. That's that next leap. And from Duvernay to Andrews, we have not seen that consistently, and that's starting to be a problem. Do we say, hey, did we on Duvernay? I don't want to give up on him too soon, but it's just not looking good. Like I say, he had one catch for 6 yards, 2 targets, one fumble. The O-line, man. The O-line. Let's go to the O-line, man. No, I don't think Ronnie Stanley did too bad, but everybody else looked trash to me. Zeitler, I just didn't see Lamar have any time. Lamar stayed in the pocket. It got to the point where it's like, God, like he is really intent on standing in the damn pocket. But it made him, and I will say, I don't want to get on too much Lamar, because I'm going to go back to Lamar. Like, I just saw that. I'll skip that part. I'll just say that I saw Lamar really stand in that pocket longer than I've ever seen Lamar stand in a pocket. I've seen Lamar really, really, really try to trust that offensive line. And time after time after time after time, the line just let him down. Time after time, the line let him down. He didn't. He just didn't have any time. He didn't have any time to really sit there and scan the field or do much, get the receivers involved because the line was getting beat. I mean, I don't know his name, Villanueva. I don't know. You know, our right tackle sucked last night. To me, he was by far the worst player on the field. By far, the worst player on the field. He was getting beat time and time again. It was ugly to watch. It was painful to watch, and you just knew. It got to the point where it started to get third quarter, late third quarter, early fourth, that you knew it wasn't going to get better. It wasn't going to get better. That dude was just having his way with our right tackle, and the pocket was collapsing, and it was just ugly. I have nothing good to say about the line. I think I think that we do need to panic on that line. I think we do need to say, hey, we need to make a trade. We need to take a couple up them fifth round picks or whatever we got, and we need to go find us a right tackle because it's not about it being the first game. It's not about the problem is the reports were in camp that he was struggling at the right tackle position. I know. I've heard it a few times during camp that he was really struggling on our right tackle position, and everything time we looked at him, he was always struggling. And I think that at some point in time, you have to, if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck and it sounds like a duck, well, goddamn, it's a duck. Goddamn, it just he needs more of another season of playing his right tackle position before you sit there and say, hey, he can be effective. Right now, I don't think you should hand the keys over to him, and I think you need to go out there and find somebody who can play this right tackle. I didn't see any bad snaps with Bozeman, which surprised me. And there were times that I've actually seen I saw Bozeman get a good push, during a run, and that's something that I was worried about. Can he get a big push on, on good defensive tackles? I've seen him do pretty good on some of the plays, but I just think overall the line was the worst aspect of the game, besides our defensive coordinator. Let's go to Lamar Jackson. I gotta say this about Lamar. Yesterday, man, I saw a kind of a different Lamar. I really did see a Lamar Jackson really like, hey man, this man has grown up before us. Like Lamar Jackson was standing in that goddamn pocket. To me, I'm not a quarterback guru. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna sit there and sugarcoat like I know all these mechanics. But I tell you this though, Lamar Jackson looked like a very competent thrower. He had some missed passes, you know what I mean, some overthrows and low throws that maybe hit the dirt or whatever. But a lot of times, some of that you can look at it as, hey, the moment, you know what I mean, whatever. He had a bad throw, the chemistry. They haven't built that chemistry yet, but I can just tell you, a few times the announcer will even say like, hey, his base looks wider. He looks stronger on his base. The ball is coming out with more zip. He's staying in the pocket. I'm not saying that he's ever going to be Pat Mahomes, but you can see the man had put in the work. Now, I also think that Lamar is a gift and a curse. It becomes to the point where he does hero ball, in a sense of when push comes to shove, we turn this into Madden 95 and we'll run Vic. You know what I'm saying? We can't just sit there and say that we're going to just X Factor Vic whenever we get in a bind. We have to stick to the game plan. We have to say, hey, we got these new receiver coaches and we got these new targets and we're working on player development for a reason. We have to stick to the task, and we have to say trust the weapons around you, because what's going to happen is Lamar Jackson does not have the offensive line to hold these blocks. He doesn't have that. So what's going to happen is they're going to play their defensive tackles out wider, and they're going to just get a good push up the middle, up the middle. And what it's going to do is going to push these linemen into Lamar, and it's going to get him hurt. We're not. I think that we can't just rely on Lamar to just be able to scramble out of shit, because the linemen are terrible. They're getting pushed around. We have to really focus on this line. For 2 years, we've been trying to patch plug this goddamn line, and we've been Merritt Key and powers and switch Bozeman's position and use Tyree Phillips as a goddamn guard, center, and tackle. Like at some point in time, you have to say, let's just go and draft us a good tackle. Let's just go and draft us a good center. Let's just go out there and really invest in this line. Look what the Browns were able to do. They have Nick Chubb. They have Kareem Hunt. They also have damn near the best offensive line in football. That's how they're able to put those points on the board. It's not because, and also they went out there and said, hey, we're going to find one of the best receiving tandems in football. We're going to go out there and get him an Austin Hooper. We're going to go out there and get him a Jarvis Landry, a Odell Beckham. You know what I'm saying? They invested in their offense, and I'm like, hey, at some point in time, we got to stop fucking patch plugging these players and say, we have to go out there and build this team the right way. We got to start in the trenches. We got to start in the goddamn trenches, man. We can't just be switching people's position. And this game, Tyree Phillips is the right tackle, and the next game he's a left guard, and then maybe he can play swing right left tackle. Like no, let these players learn the one position and master that. And I think that's what's killing us, man. Harbs wants this everybody play multiple positions, but the thing is, you never learn to master one position. You never become completely dominant in one position to me, because you don't have the opportunity and the longevity there at that one position to master that craft. You always have to switch and start practicing something different. This right tackle situation is not working. This left guard situation, Ben Cleveland was drafted, and everybody's talking about, oh, he's the giant and then blah blah blah. But reports in camp was that, and I've seen it with my own eyes, he's not agile. He's not agile at all. He's a big guy, but for some reason he can't stay on the goddamn field. He's constantly. Now, what is this latest report? I didn't hear anything about it, and all of a sudden he's just a scratch for the game. Well, when is he going to be available? I think that what is going on with the line, I think that Eric DeCosta has to go out there, and I do think that you have to say it is time to hit a little panic button on the right tackle position. And I said that before. It is time to say, hey, it may not be working out. We need to go out there and find a competent right tackle to throw out there, because we have Lamar Jackson. We're going to mess around and get him hurt, and we're wasting Hollywood if we don't have the chance to the timing to let plays to develop. But anyway, man, I'm sorry. I'm rambling. I'm just pissed off. The line sucked. I think that Lamar Jackson definitely showed growth, and I would like him I like the hero ball to stop, and he has to hang on to that damn ball. We can't go back to him fumbling every 5 seconds, bro. I mean, I think that he was the contributor to costing us the game. Without those 2 fumbles, we win the game. Simple as that. Without those fumbles, we win the game. Let's go on defense. Patrick Queen, I think he was all over the field. He had a sack. Patrick Queen, I think at some point in time they did have him overcommitting, and they were just, crossing the field, having him guessing. So I just think that Patrick Queen plays super fast, but it's a gift and a curse. He plays so fast that I think that teams kind of figured out how to get him to go misdirection. I think he has to slow down a little bit, process what's going on. But he was filling those gaps. I mean, that boy was when it was a run, wow, he was there. He filled that gap fast, super fast. That boy Harrison, Malik Harrison, that boy laid the wood, man. That boy is no damn joke. I saw him a lot of time. I saw some good plays from him. I think our middle linebackers, they're talented. I wouldn't trade them. I wouldn't trade them. I like what we got. I like their development. I think that Patrick Queen is playing fucking fast, man. He's playing super fast. Away, he had a sack, man. That boy away can get some pressure. That boy away. And you know what's scary? I don't even think that this is maybe the best scheme for him. I really don't. I'm starting to really think that Wink is the problem. But I think that you give him an offseason, 2 off seasons to really develop some pass rush moves. The boy's got the talent. I think the boy was obviously his head spinning because he's a rookie. He's only seeing things for the first time out there. But when he starts to get comfortable, when he starts to say, oh, I know what this play is. And he really stops thinking and he's just playing faster. Justin Houston had a Justin Houston and McPhee. I think it was more Houston. McPhee got the sack because of Houston. Houston came in there, you know what I mean, didn't get it, caused him to move up. McPhee finished him off for the sack. But you know what? Ayo, Owe, Houston coming off that edge. I'd seen Owe come inside as well. I don't know what the hell was going on with Wink. I know Houston, Owe was playing outside. He would come inside. You know, looked like he rushed from, I think, the 0 gap, the 1 gap, or the 3 gap, one of the two. But he was definitely inside. I didn't see too much from Bowser. And I remember me thinking, like, Bowser's supposed to be known for his coverage, but I'm not seeing any really great things out of Bowser. Chuck Clark was all over the damn field. Now, I went into the season and I was talking shit like, hey, maybe Chuck Clark is expendable, but goddamn, Chuck Clark was all over the field, tipping passes, making stops, man. I mean, Chuck Clark was playing. Chuck Clark was playing, boy. I like that. I really like what I seen from Owe. I really did. I think there are a lot of times he played fast, but I tell you what, though, you know who played fast? Ferguson. Listen, bruh. Jalen Ferguson didn't play bad, bruh. I'm not saying he made a big statement in the game. I'm not saying he made this and that, but just having my eye on him, watching him, see how he did a few plays. Jalen Ferguson didn't do bad, bruh, and he's moving like he shed that thickness. He shed that. He don't look as thick, and that's what me and a few brothers was saying, that he needs to trim down. He lost some body fat. You could tell he's moving better. I think he's playing faster, and I still think he's just got that bull rush. But because I think he's trimmed a little bit, he does the bull rush better, and I think he's more slippery. He's more agile. So I like it. I'm glad they kept him. I really do. I do think that, man. Listen, I don't have no hope for Jalen Ferguson. I really don't. But what I seen, I seen him take a step. So far, first game. Let's not get over crazy. But from preseason to now, compared to last season, I can honestly say Jalen Ferguson made a step. Was it a big step? We'll see as this season continues. We'll see how he matures. But, yeah. What the hell was Justin Metabuke? All this Metabuke this, all this Metabuke that. Matter of fact, even on Madden, I looked at his rating and said, Metabuke, they need to have him up high. He gonna be this, he gonna be that. Bruh, how many times y'all heard his name yesterday? How many times y'all heard anything like him really, really having any moments where he was like completely like dominant? I seen Calais Campbell get up in there. I seen Calais Campbell, but he's like 34. You know, Calais Campbell is a monster of a human being, so he had his way when he wanted to. But he's 34. It's not going to be every play. We're relying on that youth. I didn't see it. I don't think Derek Wolfe played. So definitely that was a. Did Wolfe play? I don't know. Text one of Wolfe played. Put one at the bottom of the screen of Wolfe played. But yeah. Humphrey, I think, did a good job. Obviously, gave up the last touchdown in the game. But I think people say, oh, he gave up. I don't think he really gave up. I think if you watch it, he got bumped. I think that when he went to go guard the guy, one of his defenders bumped him and threw him off. Just gave the guy all the separation in the world, and he was just like, I can't catch up. And that's what I think it was. I watched it like I rewinded it, and I definitely saw the rub from our own guy, and they got tangled up, and it was just over, and that was the end of the game. But I think Humphrey was all over the field. He was definitely laying the wood. Anthony Everett didn't do bad. He didn't do bad, man. I think that Elliott gave up some plays. He was out of position. Him and Chuck Clark sometimes. But I'll be honest with you. Who lost that game for us on defense? Wink. This dude would go all out blitz all goddamn night. Seemed like he would blitz everybody, every single play. You're blitzing a veteran quarterback whose head coach is an offensive guru who understands what happens during blitzes. You can't just do all-out blitzes because all he's going to do is take that ball quickly and just throw a high ball because it's one-on-one with the receiver. Now, you got a 50-50 chance of catching it or getting a pass interference. I mean, come on, man. I mean, this is basic, Wink. I mean, how do you like? It was multiple times where it would just be the quarterbacks on the island, both safeties up on the line, and it would just boom, big play after big play after big play after big play, and it's like, bruh, How do y'all not account for Waller? How does he get? This dude had yeah, I'm gonna get them. But Waller, he had 19 targets. 19 fucking targets. Out of all those 19 targets, out of coming in this whole season knowing Darren Waller was damn near the whole offense, you mean to tell me that was your greatest plan of putting a Tavon Young, who's like 5'8", 5'9", to 5'11"? He about like 5'8", 110 pounds against a 6'6", 260-pound dude. I seen one play. Darren Waller came off the line, pushed down one of our cornerback. He just like bumped him. The dude flew, and he just made a catch. And I'm like, bruh, why ain't y'all having nobody big on this dude? They took Marlon Humphrey off of him for some reason, put all these people on him, and he just ate him up. He just ate him up, put Brandon Stevens on him, ate him up, put Young on him, ate him up. Nobody was hitting him at the line. Like, I just think that Wink called a terrible game and had no halftime adjustments. Zero halftime adjustments. I think that was the determining factor. I mean, with all of our offensive woes, we still put up the points that I think we could have done to win the game. With all of our offensive woes, we put up enough points to win the game. It was Wink who lost the game. It was Wink's bad decision making. Where the hell was the pressure? You did all this blitzing. Like, everybody talk about, oh, Wink blitz. Wink ain't getting no goddamn pressure on these blitzes. Now, people can say, well, that's the players. Well, what if they're scheming up this shit wrong, Wink? What if, like, I don't see how Ngakoue can be such a dominant pass rusher, go to us and can't get to the quarterback. Yet he goes to the Oakland Raiders and this motherfucker start dominating, even on the run plays. People say, oh, he looked like he bulked up. I don't give a shit if he ate himself to death. How is it that he can go from us and play so much better there? Same player, same talent. It has to be the scheme. It has to be the scheme while we can't get to the damn quarterback. I don't want him blitzing 1,000 times a game if we ain't get to the damn quarterback. I'd rather him just don't blitz. Keep them brothers in fucking drop back so we can cover, because obviously they're just able to fucking pass all over us because we can't get to the damn quarterback. We had a few bright moments where we were able to cause pressure, but you're playing against a veteran quarterback, man. Veteran quarterbacks don't scare easy, man. They know where to go to and who's their target, and especially when you have somebody who's an X factor like Darren Waller who can say, hey, I want this, put this game on my back. And that's exactly what he did. He put the game on his back. You know what I mean? So I was completely disappointed in Wink. It's starting to get to the point where this is starting to be repetitive. Like, remember Rex Ryan would just get pissed off, blitz everybody? Like, it's like getting like that with Wink, where it's like he's very, very, very predictable. Where like these offensive coordinators like know how to tick Wink off, know how to like, hey, I just blitz everybody, because it's starting to get to the point where it's like, wait a minute, like we have some good names on paper, but when you really, really, truly watch our games, there'll be a lot of holes where it shouldn't be a lot of holes. Like holes in the sense of flaws. It shouldn't be a lot of flaws with the talent that we have. But I think that Wink system there's something off about this damn system. It's not working. And Harbs needs to address that ASAP. Eric DaCosta needs to sit Harbs down and say, hey, bro, there's something going on where this is not tolerated. This is not no Ravens defense. This is not a Ravens defense. I don't care what nobody say. All right, listen, man, we closing this out, man. You know, Derek Carr, he had 435 yards passing. You know, 2 touchdowns. Like I say, he's a fucking veteran. John Gruden's his coach. You know what I'm saying? Like, what did Wink expect? Like, I knew that the Oakland Raiders had enough firepower to put up some points because of who their coach is and what's his offensive philosophy. Sorry, they cutting grass. I'm up there chilling. But Wink made no adjustments. We did a good job of suffocating the run. We did a really good job of stopping the run. Jacobs was ineffective until late in the game. You know, when we got tired, he started making really good plays. You know, Kenyon Drake, you know what I mean, for the most part. You know, he was effective on certain passes and everything, but for the most part in running, we kind of held the run game in check until, like I said, later in the game. So, you know, none of their backs averaged over 3.5 yards per carry. They all averaged under that. So we did effective. None of them I don't think none of them had over 40 yards either. So we did a good job. Darren Waller, 10 catches, 105 yards, 1 TD, 19 targets, completely dominated that game. He put it on his back as he should. Uh, he definitely showed why he is a problem in this league. How do we get rid of this guy? That's all on us. What's the guy? Braylon Edwards. I don't know. 4 catches, 81 yards, 5 targets. I think he was effective late in the game, man. He really started. Look, man, Tavon Young. Listen, man. If he's not healthy hard, take his ass out. He was getting ate all game. No matter who was on him, they was eating him. I mean, completely pass interferences, holdings. He was just getting cooked all fucking game. I think Chris Restry had a good game. Our young cornerbacks, Chris Restry actually had a pretty good game, man. I ain't gonna knock him, man. I thought that Brandon Stevens played a lot more than I thought he was gonna play, but obviously he got beat a couple of times, so you know what I mean, get his feet wet. But I think that the Edward guys, he completely cooked. He was completely cooking. Tavon Young, and so was Ruggs. I mean, they were just cooking him. Ruggs didn't really do too much either. We held him. I think Anthony Everett really held his own out there. Hunter Renfrow, he had 6 catches, 70 yards. He was doing his thing out there. He had 9 targets. He was cooking Young too, man. It just wasn't good for Tavon Young, man. He was getting cooked out there. Kenyon Drake, 5 catches, 59 yards, 5 targets. I just think that, man, we were a better team. We lost it. Our coordinators lost it. I think that this definitely puts reality on our season. And if there isn't a move made, I don't think that this is going to be a top-tier team. I really don't. I don't think it's panic season yet, but I think that real fans see something, that something is not right. Something is not right, and it's continuing from last year. And we all know it has something to do with our coordinators and our line. And our coordinator line. I think that in all other positions, receivers, quarterback, offense, everything is intact. I think personnel-wise, the only adjustments we need to make is on the line, personnel-wise. But I do think that the problem lies more in the coordinators. That is the problem. It is the coordinating that is the problem that's hurting the Ravens. The only position the only player personnel I would really pay attention to is the line, but otherwise than that, we're fine. I think that even with the injuries, we're fine talent-wise. It's just that the coordinating, something's not right, and I think it's predictable. I did see a few new plays, a few concepts from Roman, but I didn't see anything new from Wink, and I think maybe if anybody's gotten figured out, maybe it's Wink. This is Black Man's Thoughts, man. Like, subscribe, share. Tell me what you think, man. Shalom, shalom.